We have a secure border.
Nothing could be further from the truth. New data released from ICE shows that Kamala Harris has allowed more than 425,000 convicted criminals, along with an additional 222,000 illegals with pending criminal charges, into our country. They are here right now, allowed to freely roam.
It's my testimony that the border is secure, and we are working every day, day and night, to increase its security.
You know that.
Well, look, I'm gonna repeat myself a little bit here.
Okay.
It is important that we stabilize not just our economic relationships around the globe, but also the fact that we got to secure our border and we got to stop the flow of fentanyl. Give Donald Trump the opportunity to actually negotiate with the Mexican president and with Canada and with China. You got to give him that opportunity, because when prices were rising in the United States, I didn't hear CNN talking about that much. As a matter of fact, you ignored most of it while it was hurting the American people. So let the president negotiate on tariff policy. That is what he's doing, and it's going to work out to the better. You didn't cover it the way it needed to be covered. Let's just be perfectly honest.
Okay, well, that's a matter of opinion.
You let the last administration get away with it, but the
That is your
American people
opinion, but we
suffered as a
did.
result.
But
No,
even-
it's not my opinion. That's a fact.
Okay, no, it's not a fact. Congressman Byron Donalds, thank you for coming on to share your points of view. We appreciate your time, and best of luck in your run for governor of Florida. We'll be right back.
Here are the numbers from February at the border. 8,326. Here are the numbers from the border a year ago, same month. 189,913.
I'm seeing a difference in the morale already. Smiles on faces.
They tell me that. They tell me they're happier because they get to do their job. You know, can you imagine signing up to be in the Border Patrol and then being assigned to process and help people come into this country illegally? That's what they've been doing. Now they're back at their duty stations. They're enforcing the law. They're thrilled. So, listen, we need more help. More people want to join the Border Patrol, want to join ICE, be a part of Homeland Security. Literally, the mission of the agency is to keep America safe, and to do so with honor and integrity. And that's what we're going to do every day.
Talk about these latest numbers that you have and how you guys have been able to get it done, Chief.
So look, the U.S. Border Patrol, we know how to get the job done. We know how to secure the border. All we needed was a president that was going to empower us, a strong leader like President Trump, and then a secretary like Secretary Noem that knows exactly what we need to do to secure the border. We're seeing almost a 90% decrease in illegal entries since January the 21st. Not only that, but our criminal prosecutions of those we're apprehending is up almost 52%. You talked about, you led in with the Tren de Agua. Our U.S. Border Patrol BORTAC unit is out there with ICE making those arrests. And so, look, Border Patrol knows how to secure the border. All we needed was an administration that would let us enforce the law, and we're out there, and we are seeing phenomenal gains on the border.
The U.S.-Mexico border has become drastically more secure under the Trump administration compared to Biden. No crap. Biden had an open border policy. What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Staggering figures reveal how Trump's border security compares to the Biden administration. Numbers of the Southwest land border encounters in February 2025 are the lowest in history, according to the White House. Last February, there were 189,000, almost 190,000 reported interactions between U.S. patrol agents and non-citizens at the border while Joe Biden was president. No crap. Border encounters have plummeted under Trump. U.S.-Mexico border encounters in the month of February since 2022. Look at this. In 2022, there were 166,000. In February 2023, there was 156,000. In February 2024, there were almost 190,000. And this February, 8,000.
Here are the numbers from the border a year ago, same month. 189,913.
CBS was forced to admit that they could not find any illegals at the heavily fortified southern border.
Just feet away from Mexico, our cameras captured a heavily fortified U.S. border.
This has been known for so many years for the high level of smuggling activity.
That has been true historically, but not anymore.
The activity is very slow. There's multiple factors attached to why we have seen a significant drop in apprehensions recently. One of them, of course, is consequences.
And you believe that is due to new policies from Washington, D.C.?
It has a lot to do with that.
It is quiet here at the U.S.-Mexico border, where illegal crossings are down by more than 90% from the same time last year. We have seen Border Patrol agents, soldiers, and vehicles and barriers, but no migrants so far. President Trump has shut down the U.S. asylum system, empowering officials to swiftly deport migrants without processing their claims. He has also deployed thousands of troops to the border and tasked the military with deportations. It's a crackdown felt across the border in Mexico.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard joined J.D. Vance at Eagle Pass, Texas last week, which has become a symbolic location for the state's disputes over border enforcement with the last administration, i.e. the Biden administration. Vance said on social media ahead of his trip that he's going to highlight the incredible progress that the Trump administration has made. Big thanks to Donald Trump. Here is JD.
What the president has said is we need a sustained commitment from the government of Mexico to take the job of border security seriously. Fentanyl is the single largest cause of death among young Americans, and we know that a substantial portion of it is, the precursors are made in China. They come to Mexico, they're manufactured in Mexico and brought across the border by the Mexican drug cartels. We want to see fewer Americans dying of these terrible fentanyl overdoses when we're going to apply as much leverage as possible to the Mexican government as possible. In some ways, look, the president obviously cares deeply about the American people. He serves the American people first. I actually think he's doing a huge favor to the people of Mexico, because if they don't get control of these cartels, the people of Mexico are going to wake up in a narco state where the cartels have more power than their own government. President Trump is trying to help. The Mexican government needs to take this issue of immigration enforcement seriously.
Releasing these violent criminals back into the interior of the United States. So it's kind of a two-pronged strategy that people that are coming to the border or being trafficked by the cartels, they need to know they're not going to get a cell phone, they're not going to get a hotel, they're not going to get a free trip. Can you talk about how all of the Expedia.com travel booking services of the Biden regime have been completely eliminated? So someone knows now, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be released. I'm going to have to stay in custody of some sort. It makes it harder, as it should be, to break into our country.
Absolutely. Look, we've sent a clear message. You cross that border, you're either going to get put in a jail cell or you're going south, but you're not being released. And that's just a stone cold fact. There's no more free hotel rooms, no more free cell phones, no cash cards are being handed out. You're not getting a check every month. You're not coming, and that's a great thing to do. We need to control that border, and like I said, we need to plug that hole. At the same time we plug that hole, we're bailing water out every day. So we're going to get rid of for the millions of people that were released in this country illegally, by the way, by Biden administration, because federal law clearly states if you come to our border without proper documentation to enter illegally, the law says you shall be detained. Shall. Doesn't say maybe. Doesn't say, well, put them in a hotel room at $500 a night and give them 3 meals a day and free medical care. None of that. So we've sent a message to the whole world. And if you're a gang member, if you're a public safety threat, we're going to put you in Gitmo before we remove you. So we're sending a strong message. If you want to be a TDA member, and look, TDA is at the top of my list. We're not going to be happy. I'm not going to be happy till every TDA member is removed from this country. There's no sanctuary. No sanctuary. There's no sanctuary in this country for public safety threats, especially TDA. We're going to eradicate you from the country. So you ought to leave now before we find you.
I want to play cut 188. You made news regarding the leaks of the ICE operations in Aurora, Colorado, where they were doing cover for the worst of the worst, the TDA members. Let's play cut 188. This is how George Soros and his son, whose money is funding radio stations that are talking about live activities of ICE. Play cut 188.
George Soros and his son, whose money is funding a radio station, a series of radio stations that's been accused of broadcasting live locations, by the way, in Colorado, undercover ICE agents, locations of them. Meanwhile, KCBS Radio in San Francisco reportedly told listeners on January 26, get this, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents are currently carrying out an operation on the east side of town. The county's response network says agents in San Jose were in unmarked vehicles.
Number one, can you update us on the leak of the activities in Colorado that thwarted that particular operation, and your comments to any news agency, reporter, nonprofit organization that is aiding illegals from being obtained by ICE?
Well, as far as Aurora, I think there's a couple leaks. We are aware of one, and one's being dealt with. The other one's still being under investigation. But for any federal employee that leaks these operations, I hope it's worth their pension, because that's what's going to cost them. So we're dealing with, we know one now, and we're working on another one. So we're not going to tolerate this. And what really irritates me about this, the George Soros thing, I've asked DOJ to look at this. At what point do they cross the line of impediment? But I tell you one thing they do, that isn't a question, they put our officers at great risk. Look, TDA, MS-13, these are bad people, and they would be honored to kill an ICE agent. So when you report stuff like this, I am scared to death that an agent's going to walk into a place to arrest a bad guy, and they're waiting for him, and it's going to be a bad day for that officer. Look, I have throughout my career, 34 years doing this, and I'm in my 35th. I've buried Border Patrol agents. I've buried ICE agents. And the toughest part of my job is handing a folded flag to a wife or a child. These men and women put it on the line every day for this country. They strap a gun to the hip, wear a Kevlar vest, doing the best thing they can to protect our borders and to protect our communities from violent gangs and national security threats. And you just increase their risk 100-fold when you tell the bad guys we're coming.
AOC too. AOC hosted a webinar saying know your rights. It does put the ICE agents and everybody involved in the operation at risk. The president of Mexico delivered a speech on Sunday, March 8th, 2025. And here is Oscar Blue's recap of that. Shout out to Oscar Blue. If you haven't been following Oscar Blue, he's been doing some phenomenal work on the border. Here's what he had to say about that.
Just finishing the speech of the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. I was really surprised in a lot of things. I was really in shock of everything that she said. The most amazing thing about it is that she has earned her respect on another level with the American president, Donald Trump. Specifically, I was really surprised with the strategy that she's managing with respect, humanity, and integrity with President Trump. That was, for me, one of the things that completely changed a little bit my perspective of how she's managing her government. The international relations that she's trying to manage with the United States of America is to be professional, ultimately to be respectful with a lot of humanity, but also to grow together. That's what she said. And also a thing that never a president before has said. She said we have been tackling fentanyl. She gave up numbers that were completely shocking from when she took office in 2024. And now that she has taken office, it has decreased a lot on the detentions, on the massive seizures of huge quantities and tons of fentanyl, which have been detained and stopped in our territory. And she actually said these points of inspection are the ones that they're in the middle of the country with the military, with the fiscal general of the republic, and also the Institute of National Immigration, that she said also we are reducing the flow respectfully, but the number one thing is to grow the economy of their countries so they will not have the necessity to migrate. When she said that, I was like, wow, because no president has said that we need to grow the interior economy so the migrants will not get out of their countries and migrate through the United States of America, which for me, it is amazing because that is what Bukele has done. That is what, implementing Donald Trump, that is what other presidents have continued to say. We need to make their countries great so the perspective can change. Claudia Sheinbaum today said, in terms of immigration, we need to change that perspective and to make those countries great, their internal economy, so they can grow, so they will not have the necessity to migrate. I was a little bit shocked today, completely changed my perspective on a lot of things. The first thing that I was in shock is how she's managing the international relations between the United States and Mexico. with respect, and ultimately, with the end of the day, we need to grow together both of our economies. And she said, this is not only going to do harm to us, but it's going to harm Americans. Also, in terms to the fentanyl use and the trafficking of fentanyl, she said, we are going to do our best to decrease the level of fentanyl into the United States of America because we as Mexicans, we are concerned for the lives of the young Americans. That also, President Trump has admitted, she said, that they have an addiction problem and programs worldwide need to spread into the United States of America so they can lower the addiction. Pretty amazed with this speech. Pretty complete, the speech that she said today. Changed my perspective on a lot of things. This is why it's good to come over here to talk to all types of sides and all types of people so we can educate more ourselves and we can grow better as Mexican citizens. So I was pretty in shock today about that speech, but completely an eye-opener and a lot of things that completely changed my perspective. One of the things is how she managed the international relations and the communication with Donald Trump. She speaks highly of Donald Trump. She says, the United States president has been really respectful to me. I have been really respectful to him also. So this is the way we have to manage each other. Walking right here in the city of Mexico, just finishing the speech of the informative speech of the President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. God bless you all. Stay safe. Don't miss our informative report.
Shout out to Oscar Blue for all that. President of Mexico speaks highly of Donald Trump, and she's apparently looking to clean up a lot of what's going on. She's apparently arrested thousands of distributors in Mexico. Also, if you remember correctly, about a week ago, she extradited 29 criminal terrorist leaders of the cartel to the United States. So it seems like they're working together to solve the human trafficking crisis as well as the drug crisis as well. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop your comments about this in the description, or drop your comments down below. And on your way out, do me a favor, smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.